show you today how I apply my gold leafing. Well, today I'll be using silver leafing, and we'll talk a little bit more about what it is and how to use it. There are several different types to use, but first let me tell you a little about the cup that I'll be doing. This is a 24 straight. The reason I wasn't real picky about the lines is because I knew I was going to be covering in gold leafing, silver leafing, whatever you want to call it, so that the lines don't have to be too crisp, or I probably would have been a little more diligent about making sure that my glitter didn't travel. Interesting fact, I was able to do my tacket on, I spray painted the lines red, and I came in and the red was still a little bit tacky, and I thought I would just go ahead and put the glitter on top of the spray paint, and it turned into a tacket. So just so you know that if you ever decide that you want to do tacket, you don't have tacket, use tacky spray paint, works just as well. The colors that I used are going to be Freedom from Puzzle Tumblers, that's the red. My white is the Opal Radiance. I have a little bit of Opal Radiance in there, and I have a little bit of Hope Diamond in there. Both of those have the iridescence. One's more pink and one is more green. I wanted to get those in there. And then finally, I mixed those together, all three fine glitters with the white picket fence. I didn't want this to be too overly iridescent. I didn't want it pink, I didn't want it green, but I didn't want it straight white. I wanted it to have a little bit of sparkle to it. And then finally, for my blue, I used one that I put away. Here it is. It is called Egyptian Blue. It is also by Puzzle Tumblers. And so if you want to make this cup, all I did was spray paint it white, cover the entire thing in white spray paint, the white glitter. I blocked off my blue, put my blue down, and then after it was dry, I applied some tape, spray painted it, and then put the red on. Normally you would want to be real careful. You want to make sure that your glitters don't travel. Again, I wasn't too worried about that because of what we're about to do. You're also going to need Mod Podge. It doesn't matter what kind. And you're going to need Quick Coat. This is from CCDIY. This is great. I love it. Polyurethane. It's great for sealing your water slides and your lines. I'll seal these down so that they don't lift. I love this stuff. It's fantastic. Seal your vinyl down as well, and it doesn't come up. And I love how this helps with keeping your glitter from traveling. But a few things that you need to know about this is that when you put it on, it doesn't take much. You'll see that in just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit will do it. And then whatever's left over, you can put back into your container. I usually use these little things. We do have these available at Puzzle Tumblers. Another thing is, if you use it and you decide to move on, do not go on until it's completely dry, because it will leave, it'll dull and it's just not very pretty. Just don't do it. So anyway, you are going to need this. There are other things you can use. You're welcome to use it. You can use the spray sealers or whatever. This is what I find works best for me. It doesn't mean that you have to use this. This is just works best for me. Another thing is, you can also get liquid leaf. It's okay. You can paint it all over a cup, varnish it down. Works just as well, but not for what we want to do today. But this is really good to use as well. What we're going to be using today is literally pages that look like this. And they're separated by little they're separated by thin paper. I don't want to mess with it too much because, guys, if you touch it, it sticks to everything. And it is going to float, so I would suggest that you not do this someplace that you don't want all of this, because it will stick to everything. And if I did not say that enough, know that it's going to stick to everything. It's called Gold Leaf. I did get this at Hobby Lobby. You can get it online. You can also get Gold Leaf online or at Hobby Lobby that is already flaked, and it's called Gold Flaking. I have some around here somewhere. I let my daughter borrow it, and of course I didn't get it back, but that's okay. I love her still. Love you, Amber. I also want to warn you that I have a cat who's only 6 months old and cannot stand to be in a room that I'm not in, so there's a good chance you might hear her meowing. I would suggest, I mean, you can use whatever brush that you want to use, but I would suggest using just a disposable sponge brush. They're inexpensive. You can throw them away. You can use the metal or the wood for other things, whatever you decide. And then, of course, you need to break up your leafing just like this. Go ahead and see, it goes everywhere. That made sense for me to do, didn't it? Everywhere. And it's going to be floating everywhere, and people are going to want to know it's in your hair. But yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Don't do that. It's everywhere. Oh my gosh. Okay, see, it's sticking to my hands. Anyway, we'll show you how I break that up in just a bit. Now I'm going to show you how I apply it. I do use tweezers to apply it because I find it's the easiest way to do it. I've tried it with my hands and it does stick. As you see, it's sticking to my hands, and so it won't come off of my hands in order to put it onto a cup. So I'd suggest that you not use your hands. Anyway, I'm going to apply my Mod Podge. I like to put my Mod Podge in the lid. That way, when it's done, I can throw it out if anything gets in it, but it doesn't transfer into my Mod Podge. All I do is I start at the bottom and I all the way around. Now again, you may have a better way to do this. You're welcome to share it with everyone. Feel free. I just wanted to show you how I do it. I know that there are other ways you can do this. It's okay. That doesn't mean that your way is wrong. It just means that you have found a new way to do it. All the way around, just like that. And then we'll take our tweezers, try to stop breathing on the flakes, and we're just going to apply my flakes just like this. All the way around. Now, I have no intentions of this looking perfectly straight. All I want to do is apply it, let it dry, seal it, and then epoxy it. And remember, Mod Podge does dry very quickly, so if it dries up, just reapply the Mod Podge. And yes, it's sticking out. That's okay. We want it to dry. When we do what we do later, it won't be sticking out again. And clean off my... You can buy leafing on Amazon. They have gold and copper, and of course the silver. Another thing I like to use, if you decide you want to put it on something that's not a cup, you can use the metal leaf adhesive. You rub it on just like you would tack it. You do not have to water it down. I'm going to verify that before nope, you apply the glue to the surface, and then you let it dry, and it's going to be tacky, and when you touch it, it will make a sound, but it won't come off on your finger. When you apply the gold leafing, it really is pretty, because then you go in with a sponge and you do what's called varnishing it, and it goes flat, and it's so pretty. It's really, really pretty. You do it on cups or glass. I've seen people do it on ceramics or anything that they get at the Dollar Tree, which is really good because you can make them for gifts, and it will look great because you've put some effort into making something that doesn't cost a whole lot look like it cost a fortune, and this stuff will do that for you. Add a little bit more Mod Podge. Just around, just like that. And if you get it on something like right here, you could either scratch it off, or you can use nail polish remover on a Q-tip to get it right off. Here we go. I'm going to do one more line around, and then I'm going to let this dry for a bit, and I will come back and show you how I seal it. But this is so much fun, and if you do it, you know what I always say, please send me pictures. And if you're not a member of Puzzle Tumblers, please come over and join us. If you decide you would like to have some product from puzzletumblers.com, my code is capital J, capital S, lowercase HORT 1010, and you'll receive a discount on your purchase from Puzzle Tumblers. If you join Puzzle Tumblers, please make sure to put that you found Puzzle Tumblers from me on our YouTube channel so that we can keep up with people who are watching. If there's anything you would like me to teach you, I am here and ready to teach always. Okay, so we've got the first line down. We're going to let this dry. We're not going to touch it, no matter how much you want to. That's to myself. I'm telling myself not to touch it. Jennifer, don't touch it. You don't want to, don't touch it. Because once this dries, we're going to do something to keep it. Right there, I want to touch that. But we're not going to touch it. Don't touch it. Oh, goodness, if you knew what this was doing to me not to be able to touch it. And we're going to go all the way around. And I love using these brushes because they have a really great flat line, and you can throw them away, or you can wash them and use them one more time until they just fall apart. And you know what I'm talking about. These things do have a tendency to fall apart. But use them until they do. All right, all the way around, we're going to start over again, and then I'm going to show you also how I break my gold leaf up, because we're about to run out and it's about to go everywhere. So just know that. I have said that a few times, that it does go everywhere, but that's okay. It's pretty. So the reason I'm doing this particular cup is I have a couple of friends, and we all do cups together. We all met, well, one of them I met in high school. She was my best bud, and we were connected over cups, believe it or not. And then I met Miss Linda, that would be Patty, and then I met Miss Linda on Puzzle. This is a really great group to be in, very supportive, and we just started doing challenges. So as friends, we do our own version of the same cup, basically. This is what mine looks like. Mine may look completely different than Patty's. Patty's will look completely different than Linda's, but that's the best part. They're not gonna look the same, and we get ideas. The exclusive group of puzzle tumblers, I've just started challenging people. All right, we're going to pull another leaf over. I'm going to lay it down here. I'm not going to pull it completely apart. I'm going to use my tweezers to pull some off. This is just that easy to do, just like that. And lay it down just like this, and just hope it just decides to listen to you. Like that. Be nice and not say what I wanted to say. So, and you just do this until you run out of lines, and you let it completely dry, and then you seal it. And I'm going to tell you what, if you don't seal it, I'm going to always say seal it, seal it, seal it, and then when you think it's sealed, seal it some more. Seal it, seal it, seal it, and seal it some more, because you will have gold leaf. Oh, see, look, guys, I can't do it. I knew it was there. I just needed to stick it down. All right, now I feel better. Take the next one off. And it's super duper thin, so it doesn't take much. This is beautiful in molds. If you do your mold and then you have half of a mold put in, half of your epoxy put in, and then you come in with your gold leafing and you put it in lines like this down your whatever you're making, and then come back in and fill it up after the first set is dry. It is gorgeous. So you should try it. So many different things you can do with this. I know I did a video on how to do gold leafing on a cup, and it was varnished on. And see how easy it just squishes in and it goes in the way you want it. Just pat it down. It's almost like really, really thin aluminum foil. And I'm finding for my own self that if you use bigger sheets, it lays down happier. One last one. Like this, and just lay it down. Okay, guys, I'm not going to make you watch me do this over and over and over. You get the idea. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to wait a couple of hours for it to do its thing, dry and stay down. And then I'll come back and start the video again and let you watch me seal it so that you know what you're doing when the time comes that you need to do that. But look how lush that makes it. It's so pretty. It's really, really pretty. So we'll be back to show you how to finish this up. Bye. Okay, we're back, and this is where we are. It is ready to go. Point out again that I'm going to be using the Quick Coat from Counterculture. You don't have to use this. You can use Mod Podge if you'd like, but I will say that this one is going to dry clear. It's not going to leave any of the Mod Podge lines that glue leaves. So there are other polyurethanes, or excuse me, this isn't a poly, this is just a plain urethane. There are other urethane sealers on the market. I'm not going to tell you to use them because I never have. This is the only one that I've ever used. So what I've done was pour a little bit into a medicine cup. Again, we do sell these at Puzzle Tumblers, and this is probably more than I need, really. Whatever I don't use, if this doesn't get contaminated with the silver leaf, I'll pull you back just a little, then I will put that back in here. I've had this one for forever, really, so it lasts quite a bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is I just got a cheap old paintbrush from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to start up here just because it's where I want to start, no reason. And I'm going to dip it into the urethane, and I'm going to tap it onto and what that does is it flattens out the silver leaf and seals it at the same time. Doesn't take much. And it just does something to it. I don't know what it is about it, but it just looks so pretty. Someone had the nerve to drive by my house and my dog is upset with them. I apologize. But when you live in a house full of animals, you're gonna have to expect it, just like that. And all I'm doing is just pushing it down and sealing it. You can see the difference between that and that. And when I'm done with this, I want to show you the stars that I've chosen to put on my cup. These are stars that I got when Puzzle first started, and I still have them, so they're in one of their old, but it's these. It came in a little mix. I don't think she offers them anymore, so, but if you do see this, I'm planning on putting about, I don't know, 50 on here. I think that would be kind of neat because, 50 stars. Go back over here to the beginning and do it again all the way around. And this literally flattens it as you go along. This is actually the easiest part of the entire process because it does the work for you. You just have to run your brush over the top. Goes too low, just push it up a little. And you can do this on other things too. Christmas is coming up. You can do this on ornaments because it can look like snow, very shiny snow, but it can look like great snow. You can do this on Santa Clauses because if you look really close, it kind of looks, I don't know, like a really shiny beard. That's just me talking. You may not see it, but I do. All right, and it's just flattening it down, just like that. Anything that you get over, again, you can scratch it off or use, I'm just using my nail, or use nail polish remover. And what I'll probably do is I will probably, after this dries, it'll take about, I don't know, 2 hours just to be on the safe side. I will probably go over it one more time, but that's just me being overly safe. It's totally up to what you want to do. I'm going to suggest that you go over it one more time, but if you don't want to, don't feel like you're obligated to. I just like when you do something for it to stay in place. Now I've seen this actual technique done on the cups that have the stripes on one side and a solid on the other, and they're putting the gold leaf completely around the cup. That is what you do. I mean, it's just this simple. It's just patience. Please have patience. Let it do its thing. If you need to add more gold leaf, do that. Don't go on to the next step until you're happy with what you've done. Floaters in there. I don't want to do that. See, like right here, I'm going to probably add another piece of gold leaf to it after we're done, because it looks like it's trying to make a downward turn, and I don't want to do that. Push it up to where I want it. Now remember, if you use this urethane on your cup, and then you don't clean it up, whatever it is sealing down is not going to come up. So make sure you clean it up as you go along. This is the same stuff that I use for my ornaments, but it's a little pricey. So I would probably suggest, yeah, I'm going to add a little more leafing in there. I would probably suggest sticking with the poly that you get at Walmart for your ornaments. Here's another spot I'm probably going to come and add some more. Again, this is the easiest part. It just does it for you, really. There we go. And I'm really not wanting this to be perfectly across. This is actually kind of how I want, but I do want to add a little bit more in this area here. My husband is home. After this is done, I will spray seal it, because I do that with everything. I do use triple thick as my spray sealer. Even though we have used the poly, there's another spot I'm going to need to fill in right here. Oh, they did it for me. Still. Ooh, you know what I see this as? Christmas trees have that, the garland. I think this would be really pretty on a Christmas tree cup as the garland. And I'm brushing it off over here because pieces are coming off onto the brush, and I really don't want it in my leftover, because I'm going to put it back into, I don't like to waste my quick coat. So I don't want to put the leafing in it, because when I use it on my cups, I don't want it to transfer over. So there's that too. And guys, you know, if you have any questions, you're very, very welcome at all times to message me, Jennifer Stratton Short. And if I can't find if I don't know the answer, I promise I will find the answer. But you see it's moving around a little bit. This area down here, I did more of the small chunks. If you go back and watch, I used up some of my smaller chunks. And I noticed when I went higher up and I put bigger chunks on, it laid down better. It laid down faster, and it didn't move around like this is moving around. Not to say that it moving around is bad, but it's leaving little blank spots. So I would suggest that when you do it, use bigger sheets and not little ones, unless you get the leafing that's already broke up. And if you go buy some, you'll know what I'm talking about. Some people like that. I prefer the bigger sheets myself, more control. But if you know me, you know that I prefer that. I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to look it over, and if there's any spots on here that I need to add to it, I will. Then I will, of course, do it again, make sure that it's all flat and ready to go. There are a few spots that I might fill in. Then again, I might just leave it alone. I mean, it's not supposed to be perfect. And I will add my stars afterwards. I do want to add some in right here for sure, just because I think it needs it. And seal it completely with my quick coat, and then I will epoxy and we will be done. So I will post a picture later on the Facebook page, Puzzle Tumblers Facebook page, on my final product. But I did want to show you guys, because we are coming up to Christmas and we do need to make sure that we know how to use these sparkly things. Go back to the beginning to see all of the products that I used. And again, I'm going to repeat puzzletumblers.com. And if you go and buy anything, use the code JShort1010. J is capital and the S on short. It's JSHORT 1010. October 10th. That's the day we got our cat. Don't ask. But it works. And you'll get a discount on anything you order from Puzzle Tumblers. So I hope that I was able to teach you a little bit about some fun things that you can do. Put this on your Christmas ornaments, put this on your cups. I've actually covered an entire cup with this, works fine. In fact, it's actually very pretty if you varnish it down with a sponge. And I will see about linking it if I can find it. But this is the next step in my cup. I hope that you like it. I hope that you will do something like this. And I hope that you guys have a fantastic day, that you are safe, and that you're kind to one another. I hope you have a great day. Take care.